Hey there. I know you may not want to see this and you may want to scroll past, you know. Hey, and that's fine, right? I browsing in your situation, just seeing this random dude post some gospel. Well, I probably would scroll past. But I do want you to say, I would love for you to just hear me out what I have to say, because I feel like whoever sees this, I believe that God put this in front of you for a reason, not coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences, okay? Only miracles. And the thing I want to share with you, unless you're seeing this right now, is one of the Beatitudes. I've been really liking the Beatitudes so much. They're very great teachings, sort of to tell us also about how we approach God. Like for example, those who are meek, who instead instead of you know relying on our power, His, or those who are weak in spirit who realize that we shouldn't deal with everything by ourselves, that we can't deal with everything by ourselves, but instead with God we can. Anyways, that's not. I'm not going over any of those, but the one I'm going over is Matthew chapter 5, verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Now, Jesus here is, again, in short form, saying that those who are peacemakers will be called, will look like God. When somebody is a child of somebody, they reflect whoever sent them, right? For example, if I were go to school and let's say I express some things that my parents have taught me, then people around me are gonna say, their parents must have taught them very well. That their parents must have been very respectful, or whatever virtue you are showing, right? And the same goes for God. Jesus, he was sent by the Father. He was sent to bring about peace, not harm, not destruction, but peace. So when we create that peace, when we create that comfort, that positivity, not hate, but acceptance, respect in an area, we are peacemakers. And again, a peacemaker, right, is way different than a peacekeeper. All right, a peacemaker will create that peace, will create that positive environment so that everybody can accept what is being spoken. Maybe it's about, I don't know, a sport, or about Jesus. So when somebody creates that peace, when that peacemaker, continues to fill the space with peace, again, they're peacemakers. They're not just peacekeepers. They're not just people who ride off of others, basically. But to be a peacemaker is to do the things that Jesus was called to do. He was called by the Father to create peace, to bring peace, to bring righteousness to everybody's heart, to teach everybody about the commands of God and what He wanted us to obey, what He wanted us to do. And like maybe right, maybe you right now feel like you're maybe a peacekeeper, one who just rides off of like the situation, just rides off of the circumstance. If it's peaceful, it's peaceful. If it's not, it's not. But instead of being a bystander, instead of being somebody who just is like, oh, nobody's filling the space of peace, I guess I'm not going to be peaceful. I'm not going to express that peace. No, okay. Even though there's not already somebody, and you feel like an area where a situation feels more restless, more not contained, right? Instead of just being a bystander, instead of just doing nothing, instead try to express that peace that you've already been like filled with, because Jesus bring peace to everywhere. He bring peace to Samaria, and if you know who the Samaritan is, they're some very you know, ruthless individuals, right? Ruthless like Jews, right? No, not Jews, okay, but ruthless like people, you know. They were restless, you know. They're always very aggressive. But Jesus was able to bring them peace, bring them something that they could never feel ever. And man, like, I feel like a lot of us forget that we too can bring peace to an area. We can bring this sort of like, instead of a divide, it's a unity in Christ. And I've actually felt that recently, is where whenever I like really get into like striking up a conversation about Jesus with somebody, I start talking. Other people may like join in their experience or whatever they have to say, maybe questions, and it just fills the room with peace, with unity under just Jesus. And man, like, if you maybe, right, I know I'm kind of like preaching and kind of like just like yapping, but really what I'm trying to like get at is that we don't have to always be bystanders. We don't always have to be just riding off of somebody else. Because if we're meant to be children of God, examples of Jesus' sacrifice on the cross, then we must do what the Father's will is to create peace, to bring peace to this world instead of hate, instead of aggression, instead of violence, you know. And maybe hard. Maybe it's hard for you to create some peace within like a group, but you don't have to. Maybe you can just be at home. Try to be a peacemaker at home if there's not already one. Try to create conversation about what God commands to, about righteousness, about whatever it is. And so, man, like, all I ask is that, you know, you think of, you know, areas in your life, areas in your day, or spaces or places, wherever you are, or the people around you, where you can sort of create a peaceful environment, you know. To be peacemakers, what we're called to do, to spread God's love among others, to create that peace, that welcoming love that Jesus spread to us, you know. He went to the Romans, he preached to the Romans, to the Jews, you know, to the Samaritans, and he brought about peace in those places. He brought about joy, hope, you know. So, man, all I really wish that you get back from this is that we are called to do the same things as Jesus, to bring peace among the nations, to bring peace wherever we go, to bring the teachings of God wherever we go, to not let go of them, and to instead bring about peace in a place that maybe doesn't already have peace, to not be bystanders, not be peacekeepers, but peacemakers, to create that peace, create that comfort, create that joy, create that love, acceptance, so then others may feel that joy, may feel that love. And man, all I ask really is that you have a blessed day, and God bless, man.